Sairam students, let's begin with the class 8 geography. We are doing chapter 4, that is chapter's name is agriculture. Children, today we are doing the part 3 of this chapter. Before starting with a new topic in the today's session, let's go through the content of the chapter. Introduction we have already completed, even farm system we have seen. In our last session, we learnt about the types of farming. And in today's session, we are going to deal with the topic major crops. But before coming to that major crops, let us just have a recap of the previous topics that we have done in the previous two sessions. In introduction, you learnt about the transformation from a plant to a finished product, right? In that, we saw the three types of economic activities, that is the primary activity, secondary activity, and tertiary activity, right? Then we saw the factors that are required for the agricultural activities, correct? Then we learnt about agriculture is a primary activity. Even then we saw about the different types of culture, that is agriculture, meaning of all these cultures we have learnt and we have seen what it includes: agriculture, sericulture, pisciculture, viticulture, horticulture. Then the next topic we have learned, that is farm system. In farm systems we learnt about the important inputs, then the processes, and then the outputs, right? In important inputs it was included as seeds, fertilizers, machinery, labor, correct? Whereas in processes, plowing, sowing, spraying, everything is included in that processes. And the output means the finished product, that is the crops that we get after completing the whole process, okay? Then we have learnt about the types of inputs, that is human inputs and physical inputs, correct? Then the next topic that we have done is types of farming. In the types of farming, we learned that depending upon the geographical conditions, even the demand of produce and the labor and the level of technology used, all these factors are responsible for classifying the farming in two types, that is subsistence farming and commercial farming. In subsistence farming, we have learned that this type of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family, right? Then again it is further classified as intensive subsistence farming and primitive subsistence farming, right? Then we saw the meaning of each and every type. In intensive subsistence farming, we saw the farmer cultivates a small plot of land using the simple tools and much and more labor, right? The whole family involves themselves in doing the agricultural activities there. Then we saw the primitive subsistence agriculture. It was again included as shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Shifting cultivation, we saw the different names of shifting cultivation. It is also called as the slash and burn agriculture also, right? Then nomadic herding we have seen. It provides milk, meat, wool, hides and other products to the herders and their families, right? Then the second important type of farming we have learned is commercial farming. That means the crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in market, right? So the amount of capital used here is large, as well as the area cultivated is much more, as it is for the commercial use. Then we learned that commercial farming includes commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation agriculture. We learnt each and every type in detail there, right? In commercial grain farming, we saw the crops are grown for commercial purpose. Then in mixed farming, we saw the land is used for growing food and fodder crops as well as for rearing livestock. Then the next we saw plantations. It is also one of the important type of commercial farming, right? Where single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana or cotton are grown. And we have seen the large amount of capital as well as labor is required for all these types of plantations. This is what we have learnt in our last session. Now, in today's session, children, we are going to begin with the major crops. Now let's move to the next topic, that is the major crops. A large variety of crops are grown to meet the requirements of the growing population, right? See, as the population is more, similarly, the crops required to meet that for fulfilling everyone will be definitely it will be more, right? Crops also supply raw materials for agro based industries. Crops, see, not only it is not only used for the food purpose, but it also supplies raw materials for the factory, for the agro based industries. Now we'll understand that how it is done here. Major food crops are food crops. From the word itself, children, you can understand that we use for eating purpose as our food, right? That is wheat, rice, maize and millets, right? Everything is included in food crops. Now, jute and cotton, these are the fiber crops. Fiber crops means what? It gives you the ropes, cloth, bags, everything is made from this fiber crops. So jute and cotton, these are the most important fiber crops from which we use the different things. This is not used for eating purpose, but apart from that, it gives you the fiber thread from which the bags are made, cotton cloths are made, even ropes are made. Everything is made from jute and cotton, right? And the next important, beverage crops means, you know, that are used for drinking purpose apart from the water, okay? Tea and coffee. So we will see about the food crops, about the fiber crops, about the beverage crops. Now let's move to the first food crop, the important food crop, that is the rice. Now children, in this you have to learn what type of climate is required for each and every type of crop and where it grows. So all these things are important for you to understand. Now rice. See, rice is the major food crop of the world, right? Everyone, in each and every house, you can say the rice is most important. It is a staple diet of the tropical and the subtropical regions. If you will imagine the globe, you can understand the tropical and subtropical regions. What is that? Then rice needs high temperature. What climate it requires? It requires high temperature, high humidity and rainfall. All these are the essential things for growing rice. Then it grows best in alluvial clay soil. Alluvial soil is the fertile soil. It has the capability to retain water. That is the reason rice requires a soil which can retain water in it. So alluvial clay soil is the best soil for growing the rice cultivation, for doing the rice cultivation. Now next, China leads in the production of rice, followed by India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. So you may ask in one sentence to give the names of two countries where the production of rice is taking place. So you should remember the countries named China, India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. And in favorable climatic condition as in West Bengal and Bangladesh, 2 or 3 crops are grown in a year. Now the next food crop that we are going to learn here is wheat. Wheat requires moderate temperature and rainfall. So see children, when you will go through each and every food crop, write the important points of that so that you can compare and you will remember it in a better way. See, if we'll talk about the rice, it needs high temperature, high humidity and rainfall, right? Whereas when we came to the wheat now, wheat as a food crop, we saw there wheat requires moderate temperature and rainfall during growing season and bright sunshine at the time of harvest. So while sowing seeds, it requires rainfall, okay? But at the time of harvesting, the bright sunshine is required. So this is what the difference is there, and that's in the cultivation of wheat. It thrives best in well-drained loamy soil. Here the image of the loamy soil has been given to you. That is a suitable type of soil for wheat cultivation. Now wheat is grown extensively in USA, that is United States of America, in Canada, in Argentina, in Russia, in Ukraine, in Australia and India. These are the countries which grows wheat extensively. In India, it is grown in winter. Here the images of the harvesting of wheat harvesting has been given to you. So you can see the bright sunshine is required while harvesting it. Okay. Now the next is millets. Now they are also known as the coarse grains and can be grown on less fertile and sandy soils. Now remember the difference here. See, we have learned three food crops here: rice, wheat and millets. Okay. So for rice we saw the high temperature and high humidity and rainfall, and the type of soil we have seen is alluvial clay soil, right? Whereas for wheat we have seen it requires moderate temperature and rainfall during growing season, whereas it requires bright sunshine at the time of harvest, correct? And we saw the type of soil required is a loamy soil. Now the next is millets. They are also known as a coarse grain and can be grown on less fertile and sandy soils. So just to have that comparison, I'm telling you to write all these three topics together so that you can compare and you can understand it in a very easy way. Okay. It is a hardy crop that needs low rainfall and high to moderate temperature and adequate rainfall. So that is differently, absolutely opposite of the rice, what rice is required, right? Now let's come to the examples of the millets. What are the examples here? Jawar, Bajra and Ragi are grown in India. These all are included in the millets crops. Even other countries are Nigeria, China and Niger. These are the countries where, apart from India, even other countries where this type millets are grown. That is China, Nigeria and Niger. Okay. And what are the millet crops? Jawar, Bajra and Ragi. Now the next food crop that we are going to learn here is maize. Maize requires moderate temperature, rainfall and lots of sunshine. Even it requires well-drained fertile soil. Okay. See children, I think where you all know the maize. That is, maize is also called as the corn, right? Maize is also known as corn and it is available in various colorful varieties across all over the world. Now where the maize is grown in North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, India and Mexico. These are the countries where maize is grown. Even in our India, you all know we all use the maize to a very high extent, right? Now the next we are going to learn here is the fiber crops. After the food crops, now let's move to the fiber crops. Now you all know cotton. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall. It requires 210 frost-free days. Frost-free is mean when the ice, in the winter season, in the hilly regions, we can see the frost can be seen. So this is what the climate required for the cotton cultivation. It requires 210 frost-free days and bright sunshine for its growth. Now what is this? Like you know very well what type of soil is required for cotton. Cotton requires black and alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is very fertile soil, right? Even for the rice it is required. So for the cotton also the black and the alluvial soil is required. And the most important thing in cotton cultivation is it requires high temperature is okay, light rainfall is also okay, but 210 frost free days and the bright sunshine for its growth. Now which are the countries where cotton is produced here? China, USA, that is United States of America, India, Pakistan, Brazil and Egypt. These are all the leading producers of cotton. And you all know very well cotton is one of the main important raw material for the cotton textile industry, right? See, they get this raw cotton, then raw material as the cotton from the cotton cultivation, then only that is processed, and then the output, final output we get as the cotton clothes, as the cotton bags and even the cotton whatever things are made up of cotton, we get as a finished product there, right? So one of the most important raw material that is for the cotton industry that is essential is the cotton, that is through the cotton cultivation, right? Now the next crop that we are going to learn here is jute. You all have heard about the jute. Many of us use the jute bags, right? Jute is also, not only was it, you can say jute is also known as the golden fiber. If you will talk about the jute bags, the color of that, it gives you the golden touch, golden effect, right? That is the reason it is called as the golden fiber. It grows well on alluvial soil and it requires very high temperature, heavy rainfall and humid climate. Now this crop is grown in the tropical areas. See, the two major producers, leading producers of jute are the India and Bangladesh. So India and Bangladesh are the two major leading producers of jute, and jute is also known as the golden fiber. You may get in the fill in the blanks also. Jute is also known as the golden fiber, right? And I told you why it is, because when we see the jute, it gives you the effect of that golden color also. That is the reason it is called as a golden fiber. Now the next we are going to come to the next is beverage crops, okay? Now here we are going to learn about the coffee first. Coffee requires warm and wet climate and it required well-drained loamy soil, okay? And you all know very well hill slopes are more suitable for the growth of this crop. Now Brazil is the leading producer, followed by Colombia and India. So which is the leading producer of coffee? Brazil, and it is followed by the Colombia and India. Here the images of the coffee plantation has been given to you, and here is one important fact that has been given in your textbook related to coffee. Who discovered the coffee plant? There are different versions about the discovery of coffee. So one of your in about AD 850, Kaldi, an Arab goat herder who was puzzled by the queer antics of his flock, he tasted the berries of the evergreen bush on which the goats were feeding. So, on experiencing a sense of exhilaration, he proclaimed his discovery to the world. This is what the coffee plant has been discovered. Now the next topic is tea. Tea is a beverage crop grown on plantations, right? This requires cool climate and well distributed high rainfall throughout the year for the growth of its tender leaves. Everybody, you all are using tea at your house. You have seen the tender leaves can be seen in the tea, right? So it is very difficult process while doing the cultivation. See, as the tender leaves are to be picked up, right? So it requires well-drained loamy soil and gentle slope that is there. But the labor required is very large to pick up the leaves. Because of the tender leaves, to pick up the tender leaves, large labor is required. Many people are required involved in this in this tea plantation. Now the countries which are growing this, Kenya, India, China, Sri Lanka, produce the best quality tea in the world. Okay, so apart from the large labor, it also requires a well-drained loamy soil and the gentle slopes are required for tea plantation. So children, now let's move to the last, that is the recap. So in today's session we have learnt about the major crops. Just we will go through which are the major crops that we have learnt in today's session. We learnt about the food crops first, right? Which were the food crops we have seen? We learnt about the rice, wheat, millets and maize, correct? Then we saw about the fiber crops, that is cotton and jute, the two important fiber crops. Then the last we learnt about the beverage crops, that is coffee and tea. And in the next session we are going to complete with our the last topic, that is the agricultural development. So see you in the next session, children, with a new topic, that is agricultural development. Thank you. Take care, children.